Anti-Putin Russians kill FSB border guard during cross-border raid.
Here's a summary of the article.
Fighters affiliated to the Russian Volunteer Corps have published details of yet another cross-border operation within Russian territory. According to a post on their Telegram channel on Wednesday, September 6, RDK personnel, in conjunction with Allied units, executed a successful cross-border raid which resulted in the death of one FSB member and wounded as many as 10 others. Just 2 days earlier, on September 4, RDK executed another successful raid in Russia's Bryansk region. This operation claimed the lives of another 2 FSB border service personnel. The RDK fighters openly mocked reports by Russian authorities that a Ukrainian incursion had been successfully repelled as no Ukrainian sabotage or intelligence group personnel were involved. The Russian volunteers explained, "By the way, you're once again mistaken. Your boys, office men were not killed by the UKRO-DRG, but by Russian Volunteer Corps fighters." Re-Yusov, a spokesperson for Ukraine's main intelligence directorate, confirmed that these groups launched an operation in the Belgorod region with the objective of liberating these territories from the so-called Putin regime, and establishing a security zone along the border to protect Ukrainian civilians from further Russian shelling.
This post received a score of 8,300, with an upvote ratio of 98%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
I'm a simple man. I see dead FSB and I upvote.
Russian 3-day special military operation is going so well for Russia and Russian people.
Da, Karad. 3 days after 3 days after 3 days. 3 days at a time, military operation Sky never stop Sky.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of screwed conscripts who were told to deploy for just 3 days, it'll be over very quick.
Nobody lied to them, it was over for many conscripts very quickly, after 3 days.
Lol, conscripts don't make it to 3 days.
3 days from recruitment, where they find themselves forced on a train.
Well, Russia started a war, so border guards should not be surprised if some of their people are permanently removed from job.
Fighters affiliated to the Russian Volunteer Corps have published details of yet another cross-border operation within Russian territory. The RDK fighters openly mocked reports by Russian authorities that a Ukrainian incursion had been successfully repelled as no Ukrainian sabotage or intelligence group personnel were involved. The Russian volunteers explained, "By the way, you're once again mistaken, your boys, office men were not killed by the UKRO-DRG, but by Russian Volunteer Corps fighters?" Re-Yusov, a spokesperson for Ukraine's main intelligence directorate, confirmed that these groups launched an operation in the Belgorod region with the objective of liberating these territories from the so-called Putin regime and establishing a security zone along the border to protect Ukrainian civilians from further Russian shelling.
I hope they gonna cook soon.
For more than a year now, Russian Spetsnaz and FSB have been doing cross-border raids into the northern Chernihiv and Sumy oblasts and killing Ukrainian border guards who drive in unarmored vehicles. Good that they are getting payback.
That compilation was brutal. Like crazy footage, but yeah, these small ambushes are rough.
Can you give some news links? I haven't heard a thing about raids in northern Ukraine.
Referring to this. Apparently this is on the northern border away from the main fight. Asymmetric raids on border units etc. It's brutal, but it's the reality.
Kinda crazy that Ukraine wouldn't heavily arm their border guards in the middle of an active war against a country to their border.
Heavy arms. Vehicles are finite and the border is massive. There's about 700 kilometers of border between Russia and Ukraine that isn't part of the front, plus another 700 kilometers between Ukraine and Belarus and 260 kilometers between Ukraine and Transnistria.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.